The clause number 8.2. The title is Emergency Preparedness and Response. This clause is common in two standards, that is, ISO 14001 and ISO 45001. Clause 8.2 focuses on how an organization prepares for response to emergency situations that can impact the environment and occupational health and safety. The objective is to minimize harm, control incidents, and ensure quick recovery through effective planning and response. The purpose of emergency preparedness is not just reacting to incidents, but planning in advance. This clause ensures organizations are ready to handle emergencies safely, reduce consequences, and comply with legal obligations. It is important to identify emergency situations from the various sources. As per clause 6.1.2 from ISO 14001, the organization has conducted a study of environmental aspect and impact. This study helps to determine potential emergency situations. As per clause 6.1.2 from ISO 45001, the organization has conducted the study of hazard and risk assessment. This study helps to determine potential emergency situations. As per clause 6.1.3 from ISO 14001 and 45001, the organization has determined applicable legal obligations to comply with. The documented information of applicable legal obligations helps to determine potential emergency situations. The past accident data, if available, also helps to determine potential emergency situations. The machine document, guidebook, and operating manual also helps to determine potential emergency situations. The material safety data sheet and transport emergency card helps to determine potential emergency situations. Organizations must identify all possible emergency scenarios relevant to their operations. These may include fires, explosions, chemical releases, medical emergencies, or natural disasters. Identification should consider routine and non-routine activities. It is important to prepare a response plan for each identified emergency situation. It means an emergency response plan if a fire occurs, an emergency response plan if a chemical release occurs, an emergency response plan in case of flood. Each response plan must be dedicated and detailed. Fire response plan is not helpful in case chemical release. Similar other response plan is not helpful in other emergency situations. Emergency response requires documented plans. Responsibilities must be clearly defined, emergency contact details should be up to date, emergency equipment should be available, and coordination with external agencies such as fire brigades and hospitals is essential. During an emergency, quick and controlled action is critical. Alarms must be raised, people evacuated safely, and immediate measures taken to control the situation while ensuring environmental protection and medical assistance. Once the emergency response plan is ready, for each potential emergency situation, various team is required to be trained and developed to fight with emergency. Firefighting team. The firefighting team is trained in using fire extinguishers, hydrants, and alarms, and in responding safely to different types of fire during emergencies. First aider team. The first aider team is trained to provide immediate medical assistance such as first aid, CPR, and injury management until professional help arrives. Emergency response team. The emergency response team coordinates evacuation, communication, hazard control, and liaison with external emergency services. Others. All employees and contractors are made aware of alarm systems, evacuation routes, assembly points, and basic emergency do's and don'ts. The emergency response plan shall be reviewed periodically and updated accordingly. After the actual emergency, emergency procedures are reviewed after any actual emergency to evaluate response effectiveness and identify areas for improvement. After mock drill, emergency plans are reviewed after mock drills to assess readiness, response time, and coordination among teams. As per legal provision, emergency preparedness plans are updated to comply with changes in applicable legal and regulatory requirements. Lesson learned from others' incidents and drills are documented and used to improve emergency response procedures and training. During an emergency, the vital element is quick and relevant information sharing. Management. Management is immediately informed to provide direction, resources, and decision-making support during emergencies. Workers. Workers are informed through alarms and instructions to ensure safe evacuation and controlled response. Contract people. Contract personnel are communicated with to follow site emergency procedures and move to designated assembly points. Visitors. Visitors are guided by trained staff to evacuate safely and remain at assembly points. Emergency service providers, fire, medical, and rescue services are contacted promptly with accurate information for effective response. Authority. Relevant regulatory authorities are informed as required by legal and statutory obligations. Local community. The local community is informed when an emergency may impact surrounding areas or public safety. And other relevant interested parties. Other interested parties are informed, as applicable, to ensure transparency and coordinated response. One person must not be made responsible for communicating with all. Sharing of responsibility must be defined so that relevant information is communicated quickly and effectively. Auditor must look into the following documents: emergency preparedness and response procedure or plan includes an overall documented process for managing emergencies. List of identified emergency scenarios includes fire, chemical spill, gas leak, medical emergency, and natural disaster. Emergency organization structure includes firefighting team, first aiders, emergency response team, withdrawals. Emergency communication plan includes internal and external communication matrix. Evacuation plan and layout drawings includes emergency exits, escape routes, and assembly points. Emergency contact list includes management, hospitals, fire brigade, police, and authorities. Legal and regulatory requirements related to emergencies includes applicable laws, rules, and guidelines. Emergency equipment list and maintenance plan includes fire extinguishers, alarms, spill kits, and first aid boxes. Auditor must look into the following documents: emergency mock drill records. Look for date, type of emergency, participants, and observations. Mock drill evaluation and corrective action records. Look for gaps identified and actions taken. Training records. For emergency teams, look for firefighting, first aid, and emergency response training. Actual emergency or incident records. If applicable, look for incident report, response actions, outcomes. Emergency equipment inspection records. Look for fire extinguisher checks, alarm testing, and hydrant inspections. Emergency communication records. Look for notifications to authorities, emergency services, and stakeholders. Management review. Inputs related to emergencies. Look for review of drills, incidents, and improvements. Lessons learned and improvement records. Look for updates made to plans, procedures, or training.